Well, it's Monday for me. I had a lot of orders from y'all. Thank y'all for keeping me busy on that aspect of things. It has turned into something far bigger than I ever thought it would. And I appreciate every single person who places an order with me. But as you can tell from the title of today's video, we are going to be working on the drilling rig. And I'm going to take you out here and show you exactly what the issue is. Because we were an hour and a half from home when this thing failed, and the rig would not pull itself out of the ditch. So what we've got here is the International 7400, okay? And this will be a good video for anybody with an International who doesn't even care about watching my videos, just to educate you. So this little mechanism here is essentially what would be like an electronic wastegate on most turbos. Most turbos have a wastegate that discharges the pressure side of the hot side of the exhaust gases, and that in turn dictates how much pressure on the compressor side goes to the motor. So this doesn't have a wastegate, so what it has is variable vanes in this turbo. That little box is a giant servo box. It's a motor with gears, and it has a shaft that comes out that hooks to another shaft. See if I can get y'all in here. You see that little piece right there, and this little linkage arm. So if you ever turn the key on this truck and you hear click, 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 it's this little piece here that's trying to move the arm and it won't move. So I did this about 5 years ago. This is probably the 5th box that we've replaced, and this will be the 3rd time taking the turbo off of this truck. The reason why this happens is because there's probably 20 vanes in this turbo, and they move, they open and close, okay? When this little arm activates this slide piece inside of here, and we'll see it later, the rust buildup inside of the turbo is binding up the vanes, and they don't want to open. So it makes the little servo box and this linkage kind of bind on itself. So that's why it goes click, 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 because it can't open. So if you have 2 people and you're in a pinch, all you have to do is take a screwdriver, put it against this piece here, bring the screwdriver up, and have somebody turn the key on, and you smack the screwdriver with a hammer at the same time. And what that does, that initial shock gives you just enough like starting momentum to get it to break free, and then it'll work so you can get where you're going. So if you ever have that issue with your truck, you just put a screwdriver against that piece and smack it with a hammer at the same exact time that somebody turns the key on, because it's only going to click for about 6 or 7 seconds before it trips itself off on a failsafe. And when you do that, then this piece will move in and the vanes will work. It's that starting position that is frustrating. So I've got to take all this off. I got to disconnect the clamp in the back, disconnect the servo box, and pull the entire turbo out. Cool. So what we did, we took the air box out and the framework around the air box, which there's the air box, there's the frame that allows us to get in there really well. There's also a fender support in here that mounted here and came up. I took that out. Let's go ahead and put some light on the situation. Okay. So these here, you've got 15s, 15, 15, another 15 there, and then the one around back here is hard to get to. You got to take your oiler line off, you got to take your clamp off, muffler clamp there, and then this little clamp here, which is this part. You got to be real careful since they made that out of plastic not to break it. But other than that, once I get these bolts out, this thing should drop. Now the turbo, both sides of it plus the weight of that is probably 65 to 75 pounds. It'll be a little hard for me as one man to get it out. I'll probably rig up some sort of ratchet strap up here. Now, because this is a drilling rig, y'all won't have that, but if you can find somebody to give you a hand, just wrap a strap around it and one person grab it at the bottom, one person lift. That way you can manipulate it a little bit better, because once I pull these bolts, it's going to fall and hit the frame, and then it should slide right out. Cool. Now I've got all the bolts out or all the nuts off. I leave this one on about half of the thread, because now we have to go underneath and we got to take the oil drain line off. So this is your oil pressure line that feeds oil to your turbo, and then we're going to go down below where it exits the turbo and goes back into the oil pan. We got to take that off. Well, I got it out, or I at least got it off. And the drain tube is right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. That's the drain tube. I was held on with a little plate right here, so you just took that off. So it's all good. Now I'm got to finagle it out of here. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to run a rope up there to that, and then hook it to my strap, and then try to lift this out by hand, because I don't have any help here today. They'll be here later, but I'm kind of by myself right now. This is what I got rigged up. Strap up to the beam. I can hold this. That comes down, holds that like so. Let's see if I can spread some light on the situation. Cool. So basically, when I pull on this. I can actually come down here and hook up the ratchet if I wanted to somewhere. I might have to do that, but I'm gonna pull. Just wrap my hand around this. See if I can get it to move. Ah, yeah, she's heavy. She is very, very heavy. But you get the idea. I gotta get it free. And then let's see if I can pull. Yeah, okay, I just need two hands. I don't have my phone mount. And we're gonna slowly lower it down. All right, okay. Will it hold there? Yeah, it'll hold there. Sweet, now I can pick it up. All right, well, here she is. So it's this linkage right here that's the issue. That's what you end up hitting with the hammer on the other side to get it to work. And it controls the vanes that are inside of here. So yeah, there's the turbine. Let's see if it spins good. Yeah, it spins nice and free. Really good. But yeah, I think what it is, it's the diesel fuel that they use nowadays, low sulfur. I think it's less oil in it, so it doesn't help to keep the vanes from rusting. So they just kind of rust and they get all jimmied up in there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start taking this apart, and I'll show y'all what the inside of it looks like. If we look at the linkage, you can see, watch, right there. That's where it binds up right there. Now if I push, I can get it to go through. Push, it goes through. So that's what it was. It's something just as simple as that little bit of a hitch that's causing it. Right there. And when you smack it with the hammer, it gives it that little bit of extra oomph. Alright, let me keep taking it apart. Now that I got the two pieces separated, the shaft looks good. Don't have any up and down or side to side wobble play. We got in here, everything looks copacetic. So what we've got to do is take this piece off. I've already taken the bolts out. I've just got to get it up, and we'll be able to see the vanes that are below it. This is the vane setup. Basically where the servo connects to this little pin here, this little square block, and all these move. Let's see if I can, yeah, all these move like so, and it's locked right there. Okay, there we go, locked. Damn, yeah, that does get a hitch in it, doesn't it? Okay, yeah, and I can see the rust in there right there at the tip of my finger. And there's more rust right there. It's crazy, man. I can see a lot down in there. See it right there. Yep. Rusting inside the exhaust system. That's a lot of mechanical shit going on when you're talking about 1400 plus degrees. That's insane. Okay. So now we have to take this stuff out and apart and get it back together. So I'm going to use this video as my diagram. Be that way, okay. Kind of crazy. Alright, let me start separating all this stuff and put it on the paper towels. So now you can get a real good perspective of what's going on here. All this rust is preventing that slide from working, right? So you see each one of these little pieces here, they control the vane, which it either closes to allow exhaust gases to spin the turbine,
or it stays open, and I believe it kind of bypasses the turbine. At least that's the way my brain perceives it. But we've got to clean all this crap up here. And I'll probably get an Allen head. And which way is that? Those are all clockwise. Okay. It's good to know. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take these Allen wrenches out, or these Allen bolts out. We'll pop this center section out, and then we're going to get a wire wheel. We're going to start cleaning this up. Because these little pieces over here look okay. None of these seem to be any issue. Might have to just take a small wire brush to these pieces. But all the rust comes from the cast iron. None of it comes from the stainless steel inner pieces. These little Allens are getting to be a pain in the butt, and I'm afraid I don't want to round them off. So I'm going to take some MAP gas and heat these bad boys up. Smoking! But I got it out. Man, that was a chore. I've been working on this thing for a minute. Man, look at these. Hold on, let's see. Look how stupid that is. Okay. Now I got to get it off and attempt to do the other two. I've had them soaking in PB Blaster for about 30 minutes. Just slowly heating them up. Trying to move the little veins out of the way so I don't get those hot. Ugh. Now this one was giving me a fit. Like beyond a fit. And luckily I was able to just take the Dremel and cut a flathead into it. And then get it out. Man. And what I noticed is when I went down in there on the other two, the hole had a lot of rust in it, so maybe it wasn't cleaned out beforehand. But yeah, I'm lucky I actually got it to where it could come out. Shit. Let's see, watch. I'll take this, go down in there, and watch how it comes out black. Oh wow, that one's all the way through. That might have been the issue with that one. Huh. Yeah, all the way through. Okay. So that one's in the, actually in the exhaust passage. That makes sense. I'm going to see if I can find another Allen head that sits up the same height. If not, I'll have to put that back. But we'll go to Napa and we'll check Ace Hardware to see what they got in their bin. But these are definitely specialty bolts. But now I can take it off. But the MAP gas has got this thing probably chilling at 200 degrees. So I'm going to have to let it cool down. I'm going to go get a fan and put on it. Hopefully it'll let it cool down slowly. Cool. So it looks like I could have pulled that piece out. But it was kind of rusted in until I started beating on it to get the other pieces out. It freed up. But those little pieces, those little bolts held this whole assembly together. Which you can kind of see. You can see the veins now. But I took it off because some of them were a little tight hitched. So they're still kind of hot. But I need to clean this plate up here because it looks like maybe just the shafts that they ride on need to be cleaned up. So I'm going to get a little gun cleaning kit wire brush and go inside all those holes and clean that out. And I'm going to get a big wire wheel and clean this out. I got a cone shaped one and a straight one and then a round one. I got to go in there and clean that up as best I can. So this is the end bell of the turbo. Your turbine goes here and your vane system rides here. So this is all pretty pitted up pretty bad. Look like I got shot with birdshot about half a dozen times. But I got it cleaned up as best as I can. I'm not sure how many more years it's going to survive. I got the outer casing of the turbine really good. That's got some pretty significant pitting, but it's been that way the entire time. And I think the vanes ride down in this area here. See a little chip right there. But as far as the vanes themselves, I really need an ultrasonic cleaner. But what I'm going to do, because they don't come apart, or if they do, I'm afraid to take them apart. We're just going to set them over here, and we're going to fill this up with parts cleaner. Just enough to where I can sit here with a glove on and shimmy shake it and try to get any of the rust out of those vanes. It's a very time consuming process. I've been, it's 2:30, I started at 10:30, so 4 hours straight of disassembling the truck and disassembling the turbo. And I still probably got another hour and a half of cleaning and assembly. Because like little pieces like this, you know, you gotta clean everything thoroughly and methodically. But we're slowly getting there. I'll probably be a day before. Maybe tomorrow I'll put it back together. I'm not sure. Okay, well, got it as clean as we're gonna get it. I'm gonna start putting all this assembly back together. Got this complicated thing of Tetris here all put back together. You have to clock it right because there's 5 vanes and then 4 and 4. And the screws don't line up or anything if you have any of it out of whack. So just got to make sure it's all the right direction. Next thing we got to do, these little pieces here are going to rest around the outside. And then this retaining ring is going to keep them centered. Alright, we got the turbo all put back together. It was quite a pain in the butt clocking everything. But now get to start to put all these things back together. There we are. Cool. This is a very, very time consuming process. So anybody who wants to attempt to do something like this on theirs, make sure you have all day and maybe part of the next day. Because if it's your first time, you're definitely not going to knock it out in one day. I'm running out of daytime too. Well, after about 5 hours, 5.5 hours, fully back together, everything is functional. Let's see if there's a hitch. And nope, no more hitch. That's good. Nice and smooth. Does its job. Sweet! Now we gotta put it back on the truck. Woo! Then basically the turbo is ready to go back on. I'm gonna go in here and clean up a little bit of stuff. This is basically what we got. I need to take the wire wheel to this flange a little bit, clean that up, because this is actually a new piece. Last time we replaced it, we had to replace this little flex pipe here. It had rusted out on us. And it's amazing that the drain pipe is literally just held in with O-rings and then this one little bolt and a plate. It's kind of crazy. But everything looks alright. Got a little bit of oil leakage going on there down the side of the block, but I don't think nothing too severe. Ay, ay, ay. Don't want to lose that. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just call it here. Ain't no sense of me filming putting it back on. We ran out of daylight today to put it on anyways. It was getting late. And so we're just gonna go back tomorrow and put it on. But you get the gist of it. This video is for the people who are subscribed and also the people who have this issue. This is a very common issue with the international trucks with the variable vane turbo on it. So just wanted to kind of go over it. We had done it twice in the past. Then we replaced the turbo with a reman turbo. So that turbo that you saw was a remanufactured turbo. And then it only took about 4 or 5 years for it to happen again. So there's no sense in really going buying another reman because that's all they're gonna do. That's why the pitting was so bad, was because that turbo was actually in worse shape than our original. And all they did was take it apart and clean it and put it back together. So I think I did a better job than they did putting it back together as far as cleaning up the amount of rust and pitting and whatnot and so forth that is involved there. Now, short of buying a brand new one, which I don't even know if they make a brand new one, but if you have that issue with your truck, that's all you got to do. I know it seems like that's all you got to do is pretty easy, but you can smack it with a hammer and a screwdriver if you got 2 people to get yourself going. But the ultimate fix is to take it off and clean that stuff. Just have a nice workbench, take a bunch of pictures, because I used my videos twice today to look back through and make sure that I was putting everything back, you know, in order. And there is a clocking method to everything. Everything has to go back in its right order. Luckily, whoever engineered it in a way that you can't put it together wrong. So everything does fall into its own place. And if it's wrong, then the bolt holes won't line up and so on and so forth. So go ahead and end it here. Thank y'all for watching. See y'all on the next one. Peace.